So as somebody who has found himself playing more and more space exploration style games and talking more about sci-fi and kind of looking at that genre in kind of a new pair of glasses, somebody from my community told me to go watch a show called The Expanse, and I had heard about it, but I never ever watched it before. And as I'm watching it, I realize that it shares a lot of similarities with the show Lost in Space, which is something that I've talked about on the channel as well when I was referencing, you know, my love for Star Citizen and how it came out at the same time as The Mandalorian for me, and I started kind of watching and diving into all of this stuff. But in watching The Expanse, I realized that even though it's very similar in a lot of aspects to Lost in Space, they both share very distinct differences in the experience. And I feel like it's a great metaphor for playing Elite Dangerous versus Star Citizen. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for my video on Elite Dangerous. I've been putting quite a bit of time in on streams, playing through and just trying to experience and get as much knowledge about the game as possible before I make that video. That's a video for another day. This video specifically is going to be about my dream space game and why I think games like Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, and you can even go as far as to look at other games coming out like Dual Universe and Eve, where all of these games do their own thing, but to me they lack the one gameplay motivation that I'm looking for in a space game, and that's the survival element. If you're a fan of sci-fi, you know space is dangerous, and they try to portray it in all media. You're out in the middle of nowhere, lack of oxygen, perhaps lack of resources, and you need to figure out a way to fix whatever problem you're looking at, whether that's fixing your ship, figuring out how to get it off the planet, trying to find resources on a planet to get enough fuel to get to a point, or whatever the case is. And there was always an element of survival and an element of if one thing goes wrong wherever we are, whether we're just drifting through darkness or if we're on a planet, if one thing goes wrong, we could die. And I feel like if you look at Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, Eve, if you look at all of these games, they never have that core player mechanic. They don't focus on that core player mechanic. And I can already hear all of the Star Citizen fans going, well, eventually it's going to get like that. But as of right now, that mechanic isn't there. They're just starting to get the core player fundamentals down in Star Citizen, and obviously Elite Dangerous. Until next year, we're not going to have any sort of walking around as a player, and I really don't know how in-depth that is going to go. That's why I'm looking at a game like Icarus. I made a video a couple of weeks ago on the new game coming from Dean Hall and his new studio Rocketworks, where it is essentially a survival game set in space. I don't know how that one's going to turn out as well, but as a game that is looking to do large-scale space exploration, I'm looking at games like Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous, but I feel like they focus a lot on the universe itself. Elite Dangerous has like just an astronomical amount of star systems, and you can jump between them, you can do delivery missions, there's factions, there's reputation, delivery, bounty hunting, mining, there's all of these things. But the one thing that game doesn't do is the actual player experience itself. And what I mean by that is having to watch out for food and water, having to mine and gather resources, come back to your ship and deal with crafting of those resources, creating upgrades for potentially your character or the ship itself, or whatever you're crafting on your ship. And on top of that, they don't have the single like character systems down for that. And they also don't allow you to really jive and go deep with the player crew experience, where there's multiple players on a ship, each one doing their own role and actually interacting with the world around you. There's a lot of universe that you can fly through. There's a lot of things you can do while you're a ship, but it feels like you're playing as the ship, if that makes sense. Even in Star Citizen, their ships are some of the best designed things that I've seen in a sci-fi video game. I love the different brands they have and the styles and the roles that they play And even though you can walk around as a player, you can land on planets, you can go mining, you can shoot. There's missions that they're starting to add where you can take over other ships and kind of go in and like kill a bunch of AIs. It always feels so disconnected from what the game actually is. And for me, just imagining logging into a video game, going and docking onto my ship, and let's say we go and land on a planet that has a whole bunch of crazy wildlife, crazy forests, some fruit that grows that is so like unlike anything that you could see on Earth. You land and you realize, oh shit, during that landing something broke and I need to figure out a way to fix it. Or I'm almost out of fuel, I'm on this weird planet with 3 other people in my crew, all of my friends, and we have to figure out what we're going to do, and we might have to survive here for a while. Okay, well, let's go harvest some food, let's go chop some trees down, let's try to start a fire, and let's try to survive in these elements. And then once you do, you get back onto your ship, and let's say that's an hour and a half of gameplay and you figure it out and you guys get back into space. You see a distress beacon, you go there, and all of a sudden, oh shit, this is like an abandoned ship. Okay, hold on, let's kind of get into like one of the little like side ships. Let's fly out, dock onto this thing, connect, and once the airlocks open up and we get into the ship, it's complete darkness. Wait, hold on, the power has been completely cut. Did they destroy a reactor? And maybe there's a system in the game where you can actually like gain intelligence points in different things like electrical systems, like botany, so you have like expertise in plants and life and growing food, and you have all of these people that can do these things, and as you're landing, it's a real crew experience. And the crew experience can't happen unless you have a really proper single character experience with intelligence and strength and RPG elements and knowledge of certain things that allow you to gain like expertise in some sort of like profession system. That is like the dream for me. You're a single person in the middle of this crazy vast universe, but it doesn't feel like you're just flying from point A to point B. It feels like you're on an adventure. Star Citizen is, in my opinion, one of the most immersive space games that you can play. You can walk around, you can land on space stations, and it's awesome, but the real threat of that game is finding a bug that throws you through the ground. You can land on all of these planets, and while the planets are beautiful, the ships are beautiful, the lightscapes, the shadows, everything is gorgeous, there's no wildlife, there's no threat when you get there. Yeah, you can go mining. The only threat that you, I guess, really find is from other players. But for me, I want an experience that you can do in co-op, and surprisingly, one of the closest things to that, I think, would be something like a No Man's Sky, where you can, get together with a co-op partner, fly through the universe, collect resources. I think, surprisingly, No Man's Sky, the game that was written off by everybody, rightfully so when it came out, has actually turned into one of, in my opinion, the best space experiences that you can find right now. But to me, what that game does good in the single player and the co-op experience, I just think it lacks in a lot of other areas. There's not one game that can do everything perfectly, and I understand that. But when it comes to these space games, I enjoy them. I love playing Elite Dangerous. I think if you guys could pick up Elite Dangerous on a sale, incredible experience if you're into that. Star Citizen is another incredible experience. You guys can buy the game for $40, jump in with a starter ship, and now they have persistence to where you can now start earning in-game credits to buy other ships. It's not just based on crowdfunding anymore. I want a better survival experience, and I want to be able to do that with a group of friends who might not necessarily have designated roles, but have enough things in the world to where you can read up and study up on certain knowledges that could give you intel for when you go and dock on certain planets or dock on other ships, and have almost like a subtle profession or a skill system that's kind of running in the background, so players could become like a jack of all trades, but not necessarily have to sign up for I'm a miner, or I'm a blacksmither, or I'm a this or a that, and allow a real adventure to take place. I think that's what a lot of these games are lacking. Even Elite Dangerous, it's all about doing quests. And while you can say that doing a quest is an adventure, it feels very scripted and static. Choose quest, go do quest, come back. Whereas I don't feel like exploring the universe with a group of friends and perhaps coming across a ship that's infested with aliens. I don't think adventures like that are a priority for these developers, and that's fine, right? We gotta respect these games for what they do. But when I'm looking for a game and I'm thinking about like my perfect space game, that's what I think of. Let me know what you guys think down below. I just honestly, after watching a few episodes of The Expanse and getting really into the feeling of multi-crew adventure exploration, I'm like, man, I really want this to be a game, and I really want to share this feeling with people who might understand, might agree, might disagree. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna record a video. Let me know what you guys think down below, and if you enjoy the content, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and if you guys want to support on a higher level, consider becoming a YouTube member. 99 cents a month, $12 a year, and that supports me and all of my endeavors, including live streaming, making videos for you guys every week, and doing all of these things, and I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who is a member already. Thank you guys so much, man. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.